Luckily for Texas homeowners, there are several actions you can take to minimize how much money you owe. And by the end of this video, you will understand both how Austin's tax system works and how you can potentially save thousands of dollars every year. First, let's talk about how taxes are determined in the first place. So every year, the county your home is located in will appraise the value of your house and land and notify you through the Notice of Appraised Value. The notices typically arrive around mid-April and will include how much your house has been valued at, what exemptions you have been approved for so far, if any, and information on how to protest this valuation. Your county can appraise property using few different methods, but almost all single-family residents are appraised using the sales comparison approach. In short, they look at similar properties that have been recently sold, compare them and adjust based on differences like square footage, age of the house, condition of the house, and they're trying to determine what is the fair market value. It's important to note here that Texas is a non-disclosure state. This means that the amount of your house or any property is sold for is not public information. Although realtors are able to access this information via the MLS, the tax office does not have access to this information, or, well, at least they shouldn't have. If you've recently purchased your home, you're going to receive mail from your tax county saying,
"Hey mister, how much did you buy it for?"
And you should not answer them. Don't let them know it's a trap. No, but seriously, you're not supposed to tell them, because typically it's not going to be in your favor. You can use this information if it's in your favor later on the process. Unfortunately, many people don't know this and they're going to answer, and the county is going to use this information and some other factors in order to appraise properties and try to prove higher value. Once you receive your appraised value, the total amount due in taxes will be determined based on the value as well as the local tax rate. The tax rates in Austin are typically anywhere between 1.8 to 2.5%. Your tax rate will also change each year, and it's based on the rate set by each taxable entity, which includes the school districts, the MUD, the hospitals, the city and the county, and we don't really know where they're going to land until they tell us. So take a note here, because the tax rates are going to be determined later than the appraisal. The appraisal are going to be disclosed to you around April, tax rates are going to be disclosed around November. And note, only once you know both of these figures, you're going to know how much taxes you're going to owe for the year. For example, if your property appraises for 400 grand and the tax rate is 2%, you're going to owe 2% of 400 grand, which is, math, 8,000 bucks. Now, if in the following year, your property is going to appraise for $450,000, you're going to assume that you will owe $9,000 in taxes. However, if the rate will drop to 1.9%, math, is going to be $8,550. So it's important to wait until they disclose both appraised value and the tax rate. I'm going to pause here for a minute and explain something that is true for this specific year, 2023. In 2022, the counties increased the taxes by a huge amount. They basically tried to catch up to the market, but they didn't decrease the tax rates as much. And we had a huge tax surge that kind of shocked the market. In 2023, we just got the tax notices and they bumped it down. They are right now in $33 billion of tax surplus. But they kind of got it, I guess, so now they reduced the tax liability by quite a bit for 2023. One thing that is rather confusing in the tax system in Austin is that the taxes are being calculated 1 year in delay. What do I mean by that? When you get your notice of appraised value in April of this year, 2023, what they're saying is, what was the value for the 2022 year? They're making the argument about how much money you need to pay for 2022. It's going to be important in a minute when I'm going to talk about homestead exemptions. Now, luckily, there are several ways that you may be able to decrease the amount that you owe. So let's talk about protesting your tax appraisal. The protest is a process in which you can attempt to prove to the county that your home should have been appraised for less. You can do this in a variety of ways, but you will need evidence. This can include pulling comparable houses that sold nearby, getting an independent appraisal done, or if you purchased recently a lower price, you can just show them that you purchased for a lower price and say, "Hey, reduce my appraised value." You will need to attend an informal hearing as well as a review board hearing with the county to discuss, and they will decide whether to change your valuation based on the information you have provided them with. If you're not sure how to go about it, there are plenty of companies that are able to handle this for you, and most will only charge anything if they are successful. I'll link to a couple I recommend below. Please let me know in the comments below if you've had a positive or negative experience with any of these tax protest companies, or any other company. Feel free to reach to us if you want some help. If you're successful in protesting the assessment, it can lead to a significant reduction in taxable value. Last year, I saved more than $2 million in assessed valuations for my clients, so there's a lot of money on the table that to be picked up and to just optimized. Please note that there is a May 15th deadline to file your protest, so be sure to stay on top of this. Avoid losing your right for protest. It's a pain to deal with it, I know from experience. Protests are a big topic on its own, so let me know if you'd like me to produce a full episode about how to properly protest your taxes and extract maximum reduction. Beyond this, there are also exemptions available for certain groups that can significantly lower your taxes. You will have to apply for these. They are not automatically applied, even if you qualify for them, so take a note. The most common one is the homestead exemption. In Texas, anybody who owns a home and lives in it as a primary residence is eligible for homestead exemption. You can apply as soon as you buy your home, but in order to have the exemption apply for the tax years that you are applying for, you have to prove that you've lived there since January 1st of the same tax year. Which means that if you bought this property in February 2023, your homestead exemption can only start at 2024. Once you have the homestead exemption for your home, you don't have to apply for it again in the future. The main benefit of the homestead exemption is the 10% assessment cap. This cap means that no matter how much your tax assessment increases year after year, the most you will have to pay is the 10% increase from the previous year. This is super beneficial in areas where home values are increasing rapidly, like Austin. You are also entitled to a 40 grand residence homestead exemption for school district taxes. It's automatically applied. 30 counties and cities offer even more towards the homestead exemption, so it is absolutely worth applying for as soon as possible. If you haven't done it yet, ask for a retroactive exemption from your county. Another significant one is the 65 and older disabled exemption. This has the same requirement of the homestead, but shocker, you need to be 65 years or older. With this, you're entitled to additional 10 grand exemption from the school district. Another exemption applies for disabled veterans. The amount of the exemption varies depending on how disabled the veteran is, but it can be as much as 100%. No taxes. If you are a surviving spouse of a veteran or first responder who was killed in the line of duty, you may also be eligible for a full exemption provided that you have not remarried or moved from the house. You can receive benefits for as many of these as you qualify for, so apply for as many as you fit. Beyond these, there is also an exemption for those with solar or wind powered devices. While Texas does not offer tax credit for solar or wind, you are entitled to a 100% exemption on the increase of appraised value following the installment of these devices. That's it. I strongly encourage you to apply for any of all exemptions that you qualify for. I will link to specific pages for each of these below as well. If you have any questions about this process or anything, reach out to me. I'm a top producing agent in Austin and saved many thousands of dollars for my clients by helping them with guidance through the protest process. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Taxes, wee! Did anybody make it to the end of this video? Seriously, let me know if anybody made it to the end of the video. No way, like I'm speaking to myself, right?